Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. Let's take a look at our Quiz Class awards. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end, along with the answer to the bonus question. So let's begin. What traditional Scottish instrument uses a reservoir of air to maintain its sound? A reservoir of air. A fiddle, bagpipes, or drum? Bagpipes. Which chemical element was named after the Latin word for moon-like? Silver, selenium, or mercury? Selenium. In traditional letter writing, what does PS stand for? Personal statement, postscript, or proper signature? Postscript. Which bird is known for building the largest nest of any bird, sometimes weighing over a ton? An eagle, a bald eagle, or a hawk? A bald eagle. What was the original purpose of bubble wrap when it was invented in 1957? Packaging material, wallpaper, or insulation? Wallpaper. Which U.S. state is known as the land of 10,000 lakes? Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Michigan? Minnesota. In cooking, what is the term for quickly immersing food in boiling water and then into cold water? Blanching, poaching, or braising? Blanching. Before becoming a famous actor, what profession did Harrison Ford work in? Carpenter, teacher, or bartender? Carpenter. Which sense is most closely linked to memory? Sight, smell, or hearing? Smell. What material was used to make the first audio recordings before vinyl records? Tin, wax, or paper? Wax. What was the original purpose of the Leaning Tower of Pisa? A bell tower, watchtower, or lighthouse? Bell tower. Which First Lady started the tradition of decorating the White House with themed Christmas trees? Jacqueline Kennedy, Lady Bird Johnson, or Pat Nixon? Lady Bird Johnson. The construction of what major infrastructure project began in 1933 during the Great Depression? The Golden Gate Bridge, the Empire State Building, or Mount Rushmore? The Golden Gate Bridge. During World War II, what were victory gardens? Military parade grounds, home vegetable gardens, or memorial cemeteries? Home vegetable gardens. What everyday household item became widely available in American homes in the 50s, changing family dynamics? Washing machine, television, or refrigerator? Television. What was the primary reason the U.S. Postal Service introduced zip codes in 1963? To reduce lost mail, to improve delivery speed, or to standardize addresses? To improve delivery speed. Which traditional craft experienced a major revival during the 1970s counterculture movement? Quilting, macrame, or woodworking? Macrame. During the Cold War, what was the main purpose of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve established in 1975? To control oil prices, to prepare for supply disruptions, or to store excess production? To prepare for supply disruptions. What significant transportation development occurred in 1938 that changed how Americans traveled? The first interstate highway, first commercial transatlantic flight, or first diesel passenger train? The first commercial transatlantic flight. What was unique about the 1936 Berlin Olympics that challenged Nazi ideology? Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals, the U.S. boycotted the games, or women competed in all events? Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals. Which U.S. state has more coastline than all other states combined? Alaska, California, or Florida? Alaska. Which mountain range forms a natural border between Asia and Europe? The Urals, Alps, or Carpathians? The Urals. What geographical feature is Death Valley known for in the U.S.? The highest recorded rainfall, the lowest elevation in North America, or the largest cave system? The lowest elevation in North America. Which river flows through the most countries in the world? The Amazon, the Danube, or the Nile? The Danube. What causes the Northern Lights phenomena? Reflection of sunlight on snow, solar particles hitting Earth's atmosphere, or volcanic activity? Solar particles hitting Earth's atmosphere. Which U.S. state borders only one other state? Maine, Rhode Island, or Delaware? Maine. What type of rock forms from cooled lava? Sedimentary, metamorphic, or igneous? Igneous. Which natural feature covers approximately 20% of Canada's land area? mountains, lakes, or forests? Lakes. What is the name of the warm ocean current that moderates Europe's climate? Gulf Stream, Humboldt Current, or Benguela Current? The Gulf Stream. Which two major cities are connected by the Orient Express train route? Paris and Istanbul, London and Moscow, or Rome and Berlin? Paris and Istanbul. What innovation revolutionized travel for American families in the 1950s? Interstate highway system, commercial jet service, or cruise ships? Interstate highway system. Which toy became a cultural phenomenon after its debut in 1959? The Barbie doll, the hula hoop, or Mr. Potato Head? The Barbie doll. What was a major reason for the suburban housing boom in the 1950s? GI Bill housing benefits, lower construction costs, or urban crime rates? GI Bill housing benefits. What kitchen appliance became a status symbol in 1950s American homes? Dishwasher, electric mixer, or toaster? Dishwasher. What political term gained prominence during the early 50s under Senator McCarthy? The Red Scare, New Deal, or Silent Majority? Red Scare. Which technological advancement changed home entertainment in 1954? Color television, high-fidelity record players, or transistor radios? Color television. Which fast food chain began franchising rapidly in the 1950s, changing American eating habits? McDonald's, Taco Bell, or Pizza Hut? McDonald's. What was the primary purpose of the duck and cover drills conducted in 1950s schools? Nuclear attack preparation, fire safety, or tornado preparation? Nuclear attack preparation. Which automotive feature became standard in most new cars by the late 50s? Air conditioning, seat belts, or power steering? Seat belts. What fashion trend for women emerged from Christian Dior's new look in the early 1950s? Full skirts with petticoats, mini skirts, or pantsuits? Full skirts with petticoats. What was the original intended use for WD-40 invented in 1953 but popularized in the 1960s? Rust prevention for missiles, household lubricant, or cleaning agent? Rust prevention for missiles. Which technological innovation allowed people to listen to music anywhere during the 60s? Portable transistor radio, cassette player, or 8-track tapes? Portable transistor radio. What societal shift did the introduction of the birth control pill in 1960 contribute to? Women's liberation movement, decline in smoking, or suburban expansion? Women's liberation movement. What was the primary purpose of the Peace Corps established in 1961? Military defense training, international development assistance, or scientific research? International development assistance. Which transportation innovation debuted in Japan in 1964, revolutionizing rail travel? Bullet train, monorail, or the double-decker train? The bullet train. What significant consumer protection was signed into law by President Johnson in 1966? The National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act, Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, or Truth in Lending Act? National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act. Which architectural trend became prominent in 1960s American office buildings? Glass and steel skyscrapers, postmodern design, or colonial revival? Glass and steel skyscrapers. What was a major innovation in television broadcasting technology during the 1960s? Satellite transmission, remote control, or cable networks? Satellite transmission. Which household appliance gained popularity in American kitchens during the late 60s? Electric can opener, microwave oven, or food processor? Microwave oven. What medical advancement from the 1960s significantly reduced childhood disease? The measles vaccine, antibiotics, or X-ray machines? The measles vaccine. What environmental agency was established in 1970? Wilderness Society, Environmental Protection Agency, or Greenpeace? The Environmental Protection Agency. Which home audio format gained popularity in the 1970s? Cassette tapes, 8-track tapes, or vinyl records? Cassette tapes. What was the purpose of the 55-mile-per-hour national speed limit established in 1974? Fuel conservation, road preservation, or traffic safety? Fuel conservation. What significant telecommunications advancement of the 1970s changed business operations? Fax machines, pagers, or cordless phones? Fax machines. Which home computing device first introduced many Americans to personal computers in the late 1970s? IBM PC, Apple II, or the Commodore PET? Apple II. What cultural phenomena swept dance floors across America in the mid-70s? Disco, line dancing, or break dancing? Disco. What household product was banned in the 1970s due to environmental concerns? Plastic bags, aerosol deodorants, or lead paint? Lead paint. Which economic term became prominent during the 1970s when the U.S. experienced both high inflation and high unemployment? Stagflation, depression, or recession? Stagflation. What 1970s innovation changed how people shopped at grocery stores? UPC barcodes, credit card readers, or automatic doors? UPC barcodes. What was the first widely successful video game released in 1972? Pong, Space Invaders, or Pac-Man? Pong. Before becoming actors, which comedy duo worked together as plumbers in the 1920s? Laurel and Hardy. What was unique about the Ford Thunderbird when it debuted in 1955? First American sports car, first car with air conditioning, or first car with power steering? The first American sports car. Which television Western series featured a rancher and his 3 sons from different wives? Gunsmoke, Bonanza, or Rawhide? Bonanza. What food item was introduced in 1963 that promised to help busy mothers feed their families? Instant mashed potatoes, frozen TV dinners, or canned pasta? Instant mashed potatoes. Before the digital age, what device did office workers use to correct typing mistakes? Rubber cement, liquid paper, or cellophane tape? Liquid paper. Which toy, named after its inventor, became popular in the 1940s and is still sold today? Slinky, yo-yo, or Lincoln Logs? Slinky. What was the original purpose of Kleenex tissues when introduced in the 1920s? Makeup removal, baby care, or cold remedies? Makeup removal. Which radio show featured a ventriloquist and his dummy that audiences could somehow see? Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, the Jack Benny Program, or Fibber McGee and Molly? Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. What did the SOS in SOS cleaning pads originally stand for? Save Our Saucepans, Superior Oxide Scrubber, or Simple Ordinary Soap? Superior Oxide Scrubber. Before plastic, what material was commonly used for credit cards in the 1950s? Paper, metal, or celluloid? Metal. Which common kitchen spice was once so valuable it was used as currency? Salt, pepper, or cinnamon? Pepper. Telegraphed. What was the original function of play-by-play sports announcing when it began on radio? Telegraphed game updates for distant fans, commentary for listeners, or advertisements for sponsors? Telegraphed game updates for distant fans. In the traditional recipe, what ingredient gives Worcestershire its distinctive flavor? Molasses, fermented anchovies, or vinegar? Fermented anchovies. What common phrase originated from telegraph operators who saved time by shortening words? Over and out, okay, or roger that? Okay. Before digital photography, what chemical process was used to develop black and white photographs? Silver halide process, lithography, or carbon printing? Silver halide process. Which common medication was originally developed from willow bark? Aspirin, ibuprofen, or penicillin? Aspirin. What was the original purpose of bubblegum's pink color? To appeal to children, it was the only dye available, or to signal flavor type? It was the only dye available. What unique feature distinguished the Tucker automobile, although only 51 were produced? Third headlight that turned with the wheels, built-in refrigerator, or voice activation? Third headlight that turned with the wheels. Which ancient civilization was the first to use locks and keys for security? Romans, Egyptians, or the Greeks? Egyptians. What material were the first drinking straws made from? Paper, rye grass stems, or glass? Rye grass stems. What was the main reason the U.S. purchased Alaska from Russia in 1867? Strategic military positioning, gold was discovered, or fur trading opportunities? Strategic military positioning. Which president established the first White House vegetable garden? Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, or George Washington? John Adams. What was the original purpose of cornflakes when they were invented in 1894? Part of a health regimen, convenience food, or animal feed? Part of a health regimen. Which home convenience was first introduced at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair? The electric dishwasher, the refrigerator, or the electric iron? The electric dishwasher. What was the primary purpose of the first shopping mall, built in 1956, to create a European market atmosphere, consolidate retail stores, or provide air-conditioned shopping? To provide air-conditioned shopping. Which common roadside fixture was introduced in the 1930s to promote highway safety? Guardrails, road signs, or cat's eye reflectors? Road signs. What was the original purpose of Coca-Cola when it was invented in 1886? A summer refreshment, alcohol substitute, or medicinal tonic? A medicinal tonic. Why were double-sided razors invented in the early 20th century? To improve shaving quality, to reduce waste, or to save manufacturing costs? To improve shaving quality. What household innovation allowed suburban development to expand into previously unsuitable areas in the 1950s? Central heating, septic systems, or electrical grids? Septic systems. What was the original purpose of the chainsaw when it was invented in the late 18th century? Logging, building construction, or childbirth assistance? Childbirth assistance. What geographical feature makes San Francisco's climate uniquely mild? Protective mountain ranges, summer fog, or ocean currents? Summer fog. Which U.S. state has the most diverse climate zones within its borders? California, Texas, or Florida? California. What natural phenomena created the Great Lakes approximately 14,000 years ago? Volcanic activity, retreating glaciers, or tectonic plate movement? Retreating glaciers. Which mountain in the U.S. is known for having the world's worst weather? Mount Rainier, Pikes Peak, or Mount Washington? Mount Washington. What geographical feature most influenced the location of early American industrial cities? Water power sources, flat terrain, or natural harbors? Water power sources. Which European country has the most castles per square mile? Germany, Wales, or France? Wales. What natural process formed most of the caves in the United States? Water-dissolving limestone, earthquake faults, or volcanic activity? Water-dissolving limestone. Which state capital is the only one not served by an interstate highway? Pierre, South Dakota, Dover, Delaware, or Juneau, Alaska? Juneau, Alaska. What geographical feature made the Erie Canal construction particularly challenging in the early 19th century? Dense forests or elevation changes? Elevation changes. Which U.S. national park was established primarily to protect ancient cliff dwellings? The Grand Canyon, the Mesa Verde, or the Yellowstone? The Mesa Verde. And our bonus question, which actor played the role of Michael Corleone in the 1972 film The Godfather? Let us know the answer in the comments. And of course, how well you did with our Quiz Class Einstein rewards. Thanks for playing this quiz, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.